I'm praying that the audio is so much better than what it has ever been before, because I think that I finally got the perfect settings for this microphone. I don't know. Maybe you guys aren't excited about that, but I drastically am. I've had some. No one cares. Thank you for that encouragement. What are you laughing at, Trey? Yeah. So anyway, for today's video, we're going to talk about how I built confidence in a world that profits off of self-hate. Now, this is a bold statement. This is not a bold statement. It is a bold title for a video. I feel like I just say exactly what shit is with no remorse, like that's really it. It's this world profits off of self-hate. This world also hates itself. So, it's going to do everything in its power to tear me and my self-image down so that, it can profit off of that. But regardless, before I get started, I did want to tell you guys that I do have a jewelry collaboration with a small jewelry line that is called Youthful Metals, and I'm actually wearing the necklace right now. This is the Trinity necklace. Well, technically it's called the Holy Trinity, and there's a necklace and also a bracelet that you guys can purchase with the link in my description box down below. All of the crystals on this necklace, or the vast majority of all the charms and crystals on this necklace, are authentic, and this necklace was made with intention. The bracelet was made with intention also. So I really hope that you guys enjoy, and just make sure to check out their website. The link is in the description box down below. But other than that, let's just get started. I'm gonna unbutton my pants because this is a video about confidence and let your nuts hang, nigga. You talking to the big blood. Never mind, you don't know that song. Never mind. So here is a brief history of my insecurities. My smile, my height, my body hair, my tummy fat, my self-expression, and my, quote, attitude. All of these stemmed from my childhood, of course, as insecurities tend to do. But something that I want to point out is that I never had an issue with any of these aspects of myself until people started to tell me that I should. I've always had a very strong sense of self, but I was never full on insecure about things until I got into maybe late elementary school. Then of course middle school was a wreck. I feel like everybody can relate to that, but come around that time period of my life is when things started to switch, and I drastically my self-image changed drastically, is what I'm trying to say. The way that I dealt with my insecurities, I'm going to talk about younger me versus older me. So the younger version of me, like I said, always had a very strong sense of self. And I just knew from the jump that I was different. I also didn't have an issue with it. I very much liked the traits and aspects of myself that made me different. And I'm trying to think of where I possibly had influence to make me feel otherwise, but I don't really remember having much. My mom used to listen to Jennifer Hudson and Monica, and of course Beyonce, but and watch reality TV. I really didn't watch it, but I knew that those weren't things I like Jennifer Hudson, you know what I'm saying? But I knew that those weren't things that I just naturally gravitated towards. It was always just I like dressing like Punky Brewster when I was a kid, and you can see it in some of the photos that I have shown. I loved loud colors. I loved loud music. I loved Avril Lavigne. Anything pop punk that was out at that time, I was very much into it. So I always knew that I was different, and I never wanted to really have as I got older, an IG baddie look, because I just never really felt like that was the best way to exude my personality, and it never was. Some people were asking about how I found my personal style, and it's been a long journey. I can look back at some of the fits that I used to wear and be like, that's cringe, but I don't want to discredit myself at that time period in my life because her feelings are very valid. I actually had a hypnotherapy session where I had to come to terms with the fact that I had been bullying my inner child because of the way that she, dressed and expressed herself. And it's like, how hypocritical of me, like, you were the starting point. Like, who am I? Like, girl, you crawled so I could run. Who am I to sit here and be like laughing at old pictures or, just being shameful of old photos of me? Like, I don't still have that version of me inside. I feel like a lot of my external physical self-expression has to do with like my tattoos, my piercings, and my hair and my eyebrows, because my eyebrows are a very big staple. But I feel like that is where a lot of my distinctive physical personality and just my energy, my aura field, like people see that when they see me, it's a whole package deal. So the things that are kind of more so permanent about my physical appearance is what I tend to care about a lot more. It's been a long time coming, but if you need help searching for your physical style, I don't know, just what do you like? Like, what do you like that you don't have to think twice about? Like, you don't go on Pinterest. Don't go on Pinterest and be like, like, what do I want to, go shopping for or anything like that? Or what do I want to get, pierced or whatever? Just like, ask yourself genuinely what it is that you've kind of like, you like and you've kind of always liked. Like, it's I don't think it's that hard. I think people kind of make it a little harder than what it needs to be, only because there's so many different ways that you can alter your physical look. But we're going to talk about that a little later. The way that I started healing my self-confidence and self-love as the older version of me, I've said this before, but I love the Self-Love Fix. It's a podcast on many platforms, but when I first started listening to it, the main, why was I about to say the main character? The lady over the, Beatrice Kamau is her name, and she had this exercise where she said you need to write in your journal every single day 2 things you love about yourself that cannot be physical. Well, I'm not sure if she said they cannot be physical, but I'm pretty sure she kind of said, they need to be more so adjectives rather than, physical traits. And the reason behind that is because when you really put yourself on a, like when you really see yourself in a higher viewpoint in relation to adjectives, it's a lot easier to love yourself. Like, say I love my hair when it's freshly retwisted. Well, my hair is not going to be freshly retwisted all the time. So I still like, what about the times where it's not, So if I say, I love that I am kind-hearted or adventurous, and then go into a paragraph explaining as to why I am all those things, it makes you really look back and be like, damn, like I actually am pretty adventurous. Like, I take risks. I enjoy traveling and seeing the world, which are things that, like I should be more grateful for. I should really reflect on more. So that is how I really kicked off my intentional self-love journey with actual practices, affirmations, and things that I do every single day to remind myself exactly why I love myself. Because people can say they love themselves all day, but it's like, why? Why do you love yourself? Like, so that's a good practice for anyone using it. Being naked in the mirror, or just, recording myself doing explicitive adult things. That is a very good way that I have boosted my confidence. Before, if you guys seen my OnlyFans video, I go more in depth about that. But yeah, thoroughly enjoy that, because it's like, when you just exhale and look at yourself in the mirror, like, this is really what it is. Like, so honestly, hating it is going to do yourself a disservice. Even if you're trying to change something about yourself, like, I'm not saying that, you can't get in shape, or you can't want to get in shape, because that don't mean like you hate yourself or something like that. But I think what I'm meaning is like, loving yourself now in the state that you're in will help your journey of health. So if you love yourself for who you are and what you look like at this very moment, it'll be easier to make healthier lifestyle choices. It'll be easier to eat healthy at the grocery store. It'll be easier to get up in the morning and, go to the gym and dedicate yourself to your health, because like health isn't just about like our physical being. It's about like what goes in internally too. And once you feel good on the inside, you look good on the outside. Another thing that I do is if I see something I like, I'm gonna buy it. Okay, I'm going to fucking buy that shit, and it does not matter. I'm not finna think too much about it. I'm not finna try and talk myself out of it. Nah, nigga, if I see that shit and I like it, I'm gonna buy it. That's it. I do have a video coming out talking about money manifestation. I know you guys are probably getting excited about that because people do ask me a lot of questions about that. Y'all know I make money from YouTube, but look, YouTube is not as easy as y'all think. Like, I'm gonna just say that straight up. So I'm gonna talk about that and be of service to some people, because I have been doing life coaching come the beginning of this year, and I have been feeling very good about myself. I've been feeling very dedicated to my journey of self, just self everything. My journey of self. That's what it is. My journey of self. Also, I'm just naturally becoming more in tune with my body, really like listening to it and understanding what means what. In the morning now, I kind of have a better sense of what I should do. Now I have implemented way more reading into my life, and I thoroughly do enjoy reading way more. It makes me feel productive and my attention span, instead of like getting on my phone first thing in the morning and being on TikTok, my attention span is starting to get a lot longer. Yeah, but that all goes with like being more in tune with my body, because when I would wake up sometimes and not do my routine, I would feel off, or I would feel like I didn't really properly start my day. Even with the things that I eat in the morning. Now I don't really eat in the morning. I'll of course get hydrated first things first. But then I'll do like fruit, or I'll juice. My mom bought me a juicer for Christmas. You're an adult when you got a juicer, okay? So I will juice some fruit and some veggies and some ginger maybe, and I'll feel really good off of that. Or I'll drink what brand, Arden's Garden juices that I have. I have also been microdosing on shrooms, so that's a video that's coming in February. How do you feel more connected to your sacred feminine? I feel more connected to my sacred feminine when I am very intentional about what I put in my body and what I put in my yoni. So I want to start doing more practicing with my yoni egg, because I have one and I liked it a lot. I still like it, but I liked it more when I first got it. But I need to build up a relationship with it in order for me to actually reap the benefits that come from having a yoni egg. So that's really what I'm gonna say about that. Also, I feel feminine when I do any and everything, and that's been a long time coming for me, because it's not that I didn't feel feminine before, but I had a very different way of expressing myself. I used to dress very masculine. I still have a very strong masculine energy, but I feel very feminine. So even though niggas might get intimidated by me because I'm gonna talk my shit, and I project more, I'm a little louder, I have something to say, and I have thoughts with substance, I know that is more of masculine energy, but no matter what I do, I still feel feminine. Me and AB used to go to the river and just like take off our tops and just would like walk around the river, like just letting the sun just like hit us and things like that. So anything and everything I do, it is to feel more connected to my sacred feminine, but I am still trying to get a better hold on my diet, because I feel like I just know for a fact that shit is going to skyrocket. So now that I've spoken about my personal insecurities and pretty much kind of like how I've battled them and dealt with them now as the younger version of me and the older version of me. I do want to give some some advice, just some advice for helping you establish your confidence, because that's what we're here for. So I want to start off by saying that if this is a story or a video game or whatever, whatever you want to consider reality to be, there are always going to be ups and downs. And it's very interesting because it's like no matter what we do, it's always going to be ups and downs. And that's the simple fact of the matter. We can't really control that aspect, but we can acknowledge the fact that we wouldn't watch a movie that doesn't have any conflict. We wouldn't watch a TV show that does not have a plot line, that does not have something going on that the main character has to resolve or learn from or just experience. Bro, life is a movie. Like, life is truly a movie. Sometimes things will happen to me and I'm just like, shawty, where is the camera? You gotta have trials. You gotta have tribulations. I'm assuming y'all believe in like past lives and things like, and like karmic relationships, karmic cycles that you didn't complete in a past life. Now you gotta complete and learn from it in this life. That stuff is real. Like, there's a reason that like you might not get along with your mom and you never have. Like, just look at the bigger picture, possibly try to find out, different things and different aspects of not only just your life, but like the people around you's life, your family's life, your friends' life, especially like your long-term friends' life. Like, what are these people teaching you? If I had to give an example, I would say, since we're talking about confidence, I'm going to talk about like one of the first girls that ever bullied me. And this is actually going to lead into my second thing that I wanted to give you guys advice with, which is people will try you the most when you are leveling up in life. I think it was just life at that very moment, and me having to learn how to stand my ground and establish boundaries and find myself worthy enough to be stood up for, because it's all connected and it's all a reflection of me, and it's trying to teach me and tell me something. It's trying to inform me about something, That's really what it is. People try you the most when you're leveling up. I can also talk about that. Like, that is something that I just realized, thanks to my life coach, Troy. But that is something that I just realized, because I was just like in a period of tell me why like, why is this happening to me? Like, with some other stuff that had been going on in my life, I was just like, bro, why is this happening to me? And Troy was just like, you do realize that in every time period of life where it is just something back to back, like, that's when you are doing your most internal growth. And I was like, hold on, whoa there. Stop right there, because you're fucking correct. Okay. Because how come like in like middle end of December, I was literally on the phone with my consultation with him and was like, I want to do this life coaching shit. I'm ready to invest in me. I don't give a fuck how much this shit costs. And when I did that for my hypnotherapy sessions, when I was living at my old apartment, I was like, fuck that. I don't give a fuck if these sessions are damn near $300 each. I am doing this because my intuition is guiding me towards it and I feel a strong call for it. That was when like I had some issues. I dropped out of college. My mom cut me off financially. And I feel like we could talk about this a little further too, because even with me recently, I'm talking recently like this morning, I have been doing shadow work so much recently and uncovering why I might not feel like I'm good at decision making, or why I hesitate before buying big ticket items that I know I can afford. Why was I hesitant to really be paying over 2K a month for this apartment, you know, even though I knew for a fucking fact that I could do it. And that's because of limiting beliefs that were instilled in me during my childhood by my family members. And whether it had been intentional or it wasn't, and when I say that, I mean like unintentionally, is like me observing these people and the way they move about life. These people are just very low vibrational, and not just that, but they lack money management. So now I feel like I lack money management because that is all I've seen growing up. The only advice I ever got with money was to tell me to save. And so now when I do shit like get paid from sponsorships, say I got paid like $4,500, I will take I said 4,500. I mean 4K. I mean 45. Wait, did I say that right? I'm talking too fast. I'm moving too fast. Yes, like when I get paid $4,500 from like a sponsorship or something like that, I will take 4,250 of that and put it into savings, and then leave the other 250 out for something, maybe leisure. Maybe I'm just going grocery shopping. But it's like, that was the only advice I ever received. And I'm not just talking about money at this point. Like, I'm talking about with any and everything. Like, when there was conflict about my insecurities being, you know, broadcasted by rude girls, you know, at the Boys and Girls Club. Like, it was just like, I didn't have much advice to take from. I just had people in my ears like, you're beautiful, love yourself. Yeah. Like, and fuck those girls. Like, that's it. Like, that's it. And only as an adult am I really starting to realize that, like, this whole dynamic that I've experienced is because people seen greatness in me before I even seen it in myself. And that's not to say that I was insecure. I just always, you know, I seen like people coming up to me asking for advice when I was in like fucking 5th grade. And I didn't put two and two together. You know, I was just liking to make friends and liking to help people out, but people always seen something in me. And the moment that I started to also see it in myself and bet on myself, I actually had forgotten where I was going with the point that I was making, but what I was trying to say was, I noticed that when I started to see the same potential in me that other people saw, and started to act on that, that was when I received a lot of pushback from, whether it had been, no, it was from family. What am I talking about? I started to receive a lot of pushback from family, or it was probably also people in positions of authority over me. So like when I was working at Domino's, like, and I would talk about like my aspirations there, like my manager did not care whatsoever. He just wanted me to come in earlier than him, to clock him in earlier and have me set up the entire store while he was not there. So, and that goes even more into my point of, when you are leveling up, you will start to realize that there are people around you who do not serve your highest good. And that's that. Also, one more advice tip that I wanted to share is that when one door closes, another one sure does open. I'm basically pitching to you the fact that everything happens for a reason. And not only just that, but everything is happening for you and not to you. I've said this before. Some people might not really fully grasp that, but think about a time in your life where you just pretty much thought like shit was not finna be looking up for a minute, or you're upset that something you really wanted didn't work out. It's very interesting because even when it comes to manifestation, most times things that we desire will come to us, but they will not come to us in the way that we expect. For example, this apartment, I did not expect it to come to me in the way that it did. Even when I proceeded with like filling out the application and moving in and stuff like that, and I was like I wasn't hesitant necessarily. I was hesitant at first for sure, but I wasn't like it didn't really feel real. It didn't really like hit me as like, oh my God, like this is finally fucking happening after 9 months of me searching for a new place to live. Like I'm finally getting my ideal apartment. And like, then not only that, but now like I live here by myself. Like this is my whole crib. Like this is lit, you know? So, and it's so funny because that is what I manifested from the jump. And even when I was, you know, feeling like maybe I want a 1 bedroom. I don't really need a 2 bedroom. Like maybe I just want a 1 bedroom. Like it was meant to be from the start. What I put out that I wanted in the universe came to me not in the way that I expected. Regardless, I wanted to answer a few of you guys' questions that you sent to me on Instagram in relation to this topic of how to build confidence. How did you learn to let go or not pay attention to society's standards that could dim someone's confidence? I don't think that this answer is something that I could sum up very quickly because it's a journey for everybody and the journey is not going to be the same. But I will say that social media no longer impresses me. But even in the time periods where it did, I had to take it with a grain of salt. And especially with me being an influencer now, I have had a few people tell me that they want to be me. And I'm like, you want to be me because of what you see on your screen right now. Like, you don't know, like you don't know anything that people, and it's so funny too because given the fact that I share a lot on the internet, people just assume they know my entire life. They know everything I've been through. They know everything I'm going through currently, and that is not the case. Like the other day I see the comment, I forgot what they were talking about, but someone basically was like, she doesn't even communicate really with either side of her family. And I was like, that's not true. Like I talk to my mom's side like fairly more often than I honestly would like. Like I'm over here just in my element, you know. But regardless, like people think that they know you and they have no idea. Cause like, okay, let's talk about Willow Smith, for example. I know so many people aspire, oh my God, I wish I was Willow Smith. Like life would be so much easier if Will and Jada were my parents. They seem so cool. Like these are all just assumptions though. Like y'all have no idea what goes on in this girl's day to day. Like Shawty be crying on Instagram live sometimes and we don't know what the hell she crying about. Like, you know, like social media for me is, you know, this question didn't even involve social media, but society in general is all to be taken with a grain of salt. Everything is trying to sell these days. Everything is trying to make a profit. And whether or not you actually paying in money, you're paying something. You're paying in time, in energy, in words. Like people arguing, like it takes energy to argue, which is even why I'm trying to now control the way that I deal with hate comments by not dealing with them at all, regardless of if y'all want to call my last guest that I had on my channel Hitler, which I do not appreciate at all. That was very out of pocket. But like my energy even got wrapped up in that, you know, in defending her. How do you feel about there always being a trend of how a woman's body is supposed to look? I, of course, do not like it for the sake of other beings out there. Like people don't think they ass fat enough, and like that leads them on a spiral of self-hate. And it's just like, it's crazy to me. Like y'all, this is literally done for profit. Like please stop letting industries, corporations, boys on the internet, random niggas who don't know shit about how to treat women because they lack self-respect. Like I hate the fact that I know that people are influenced by those sources, and that sucks within itself. What are your thoughts on cosmetic procedures and changing your body versus self? I'm not sure. I guess self kind of means like being natural. I don't know. I was talking to my friends about this last night, and me just trying to put this in the most unproblematic way. And it's like, at this point, I shouldn't try to do all that, because either way, I'm gonna say what I want to say. I, of course, don't agree with a lot of that, not only just for the fact of moral sake, the fact that I don't think you could love yourself and really want a BBL enough to go and get one, but for the sake of like the fact that you could die from a lot of those procedures, and niggas is really flying to other countries to get procedures done where a woman will die on the table in the morning and the doctor is still practicing in the afternoon. Like, nah. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. The other day, I turned on, I watched porn for the first time in like 2 months. And when I just looked at the main screen, I was just like, nigga, like, I'm not even horny no more. And it's like some things I find more moral than others. Like, for example, I have not personally done this myself, but some people, after my Bell's palsy video came up, they were recommending Botox to me, and I've never had a good viewpoint on Botox. I was like, isn't that what white women do? Because I've only seen white women on reality TV do that. And they were like, well, I mean, you can, like, something about the Botox could pretty much help my Bell's palsy. And I never looked into it. I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact they weren't lying, but I just, like, I don't know, like, I feel like procedures like that are a little more acceptable simply for the fact that, like, you know what? I'm pretty, people could probably die from Botox. I don't freaking know. I'm just saying, like, some things are clearly a higher risk. Like, shawty is taking your stomach fat and injecting it into your ass. And now you have to, women are in so much pain from that procedure. Like, that, is it worth it? Is it worth it? And I also wish that now we would value what our natural bodies look like, as we have a whole new generation that is growing up on the internet. I'd like to remind y'all, we have kids and children looking at us for inspiration. Maybe we should get this shit together, just maybe. Cockiness versus confidence. I got a few questions in relation to, how do you view, cockiness versus confidence? Like, how do you determine the difference and stuff like that? And I kind of want to start off by saying, many times I don't see cockiness. And let me kind of just read what I wrote. I said, I'm not easily intimidated because I have a strong sense of self. And I think, like, that is why I don't really see cockiness. I feel like cockiness and confidence come from the perception of whoever is witnessing the person that is exuding either energy. But I feel like to be exuding, like, of course, some people who are cocky and self-centered are not going to say that they're cocky and self-centered. So when I experience people who might talk more about their, accomplishments, or like my YouTube friends will tell me about like all the brand deals that they got, like, I think it's lit. I'm like, nigga, kudos to you, shit. Like, you need to put me on, like, I always, I'm very congratulatory of them and their achievements. But looking back on some of the YouTube friendships that I've had that I no longer have, it's interesting because now I'm like, wait a minute, were they doing that to be cocky? I was kind of just re-looking at the situation with different eyes, kind of with the eyes of me seeing them for who they truly are, and really realize, like, maybe they were trying to be cocky, but it didn't really affect me because I can celebrate other people's achievements and not feel threatened. And I don't think that was something that person was used to, which was a little weird. So it's like, if you've got bad people around you where you're not used to, you feel like you can, like, maybe brag a little bit, and they, you might get like a little power up off of them being mad. Like, or, like a little jealous. Like, I don't know, that's kind of weird. But also, I wanted to say that insecurity can lead to either sides of the spectrum. So like the person who might be cocky, it might truly be insecure, and they might feel like they have to boast about the things that they have because they might feel like that is how they gain social acceptance, or how they gain respect, or things like that. So and then of course the opposite way would be someone who is insecure within themselves viewing just someone who is confident and perceiving it as cockiness because they see it as a threat. So I feel like it's honestly in the eye of the beholder. And before y'all twist my words, I am not saying that if you perceive somebody as cocky, it's because you're insecure. I'm literally saying it's a spectrum. It's a matter of perspective. I cannot remember the last time that I really evidently came across someone who is cocky. And because of that, I don't want to step on anyone's toes. I hate disclaiming myself, but I feel like I have to because people will twist your words. But anyway, the people who understand what I'm saying, you get it. Somebody said, do you believe in being humble and not talking of your achievements? No, you can talk your shit and be proud of how far you've come in this life and be humble. It's not either or. Like, I would never want my friends to not feel comfortable sharing exciting news with me, of their achievements because they want to be humble. Like, that's not what being humble is. So yeah, that's my answer to that question. How to be okay with the personality you have instead of trying to change it all the time. I don't know what you mean by change it all the time. I don't know. That's a kind of a sad question to me. I kind of perceive that as very sad. I guess my question to you would be, if you are constantly changing your personality, who are you at your core? If you have to change who you are, or to alter certain people to fit certain people's narratives or come across as more acceptable to them, you do not need to be around those people. I don't care if they're your family. You don't need to be around them. If they don't make you feel like who you are at your core is enough, then they're doing you a disservice by continuing to be around. So the first thing that I would say for advice to that is to get rid of those people. Get rid of the people who make you feel like you have to present yourself in a certain way or dress in a certain way in order to be a part of the friend group or whatever. I surrounded myself on social media and in real life with people that look like me and stop listening to those who don't. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't really know how to perceive that, because it's like, that's like me saying that I'm only ever going to talk to black people or black women. Like, what do you mean? And why did you start doing that? Like, well, I don't understand that. I don't know if that is okay, because let's be honest, like, not all black women think the same. So me only communicating with black and surrounding myself with black women, like, what is that supposed to do for me? Just because they look like me, that doesn't mean that they believe in the same things that I do. So how does that help you? Like, I don't understand that. That's kind of weird. I mean, maybe, let me look at it in a different light. Maybe this is for like physical self-love purposes. I'm trying to get the full picture here. Maybe I'm just thinking about this too much in my personal perspective, but I do not understand why you did that. And I think that that's what I want to know. Like, why are you only surrounding yourself? And then it's the fact that you said this. I stopped listening to those who don't, as in those who don't look like me. So like, I don't get that. I guess that's maybe is a way you've helped your confidence, but it's like, at what cost? Like, now how are you supposed to be accepting of other people who look different, dress different, talk different, walk different? And it's like, I think with confidence in itself, embodying it truly comes from loving yourself deeply enough to be okay with other people's type of expression and language and just simply being. Because it's like, if I felt intimidated by anybody who does not look like me, I'm gonna live a pretty hard fucking life. Like, I'm gonna be struggling out here, like, trying to make friends. It's like, what if my friends got friends that are Asian? Like, like, am I supposed to just not talk to them? Like, I don't get that. Someone simply said how to stop caring about what people think of you, and this is something I'm still dealing with. And it's not necessarily in a sense. I think what I get a little teed about is my baby, my YouTube channel. It's like, I know not everybody is gonna agree with what I have to say, but what irritates me the most is when people take my words and they just twist it and turn it and
bop it, twist it, pull it.
Because that's not what I don't like that. Like, even in reference to my last YouTube video, like, so many people got upset with when Y was mentioning the robots and zombies thing. If you haven't seen it, you have to watch it to understand what I'm saying. And it's like, they were like, I hate it when spiritual people think that they're above everybody else because they're spiritual. Nobody ever said that. And nobody, if that's what you felt, then you must be one of the robots or the zombies that she's talking about. Because it's so interesting, because when me and all of my friends were watching back that video before it even went live, we were like, yeah, this shit good. This is some good content right here. Like, if there was any issue that people wanted to point out with the video, I would have never thought that it would have been that, you know? And that, I guess that all goes into people thinking that they know me, even though they don't. So it's like, people think that, you know, because I might say something on the internet, then that means that they know a lot about me, or everything that they feel like they need to know to make a educated assumption as to the person that I am. I feel like once you get to a point where you are so undeniably comfortable within yourself, that the aspect of not caring about what other people think of you just naturally comes along, and that's really it. How do you deal with feelings of guilt from people you love projecting their internal hate? Now, this one was my favorite question. It has to play so much with confidence. And I guess I should probably give an example. So my personal example with this is like my parents. My father has always been jealous of me. And the way that it came out was like just absence and disrespect, just blatant disrespect, like him calling me out my name and things like that. Like, my mom would say, like, she's living vicariously through me. I don't like it when she says that, because I don't want anyone to live through me. And I know that that is coming from a place of, oh wow, I see you doing all these things that I've always wanted to do. Like, you just, you know, you don't work a 9 to 5. You have a very creative job that you love. Like, and it's just coming from a place of, I didn't do any of this stuff. I didn't get to experience any of this stuff. And not only that, but I don't feel like I can achieve that now, which is the most important part. Because, yeah, fuck what you did. Fuck what you didn't do in the past. Like, now, especially in this day and age, in this panoramic, too many people know that, like, this stuff is fake. Like, this shit is fake. Like, nigga, quit your job. Like, nigga, go to Costa Rica, go to Mexico, try something new, try something different. But the way that I deal with it is definitely by acknowledging it. Because once you know, or, you know, you have the knowledge and awareness that that is there, that helps so much, because that's like half of the work, you know. Discovering that is very important, because now you can look at it in a whole. You can see how it's affected you, and you can choose to stop doing the things that don't serve you. So, like, with, like, let's say, like, my parents, like, I felt like I had to run every, like, decision, especially like when it came to a big adult thing, like buying a car or getting an apartment. Like, I felt like I had to always ask my mom for her opinion and just, you know, like, her judgment, even though, like, many decisions were made by people in my family that proved that they didn't have the best judgment. So it's like, why am I asking them? I need to be confident enough within my decision making and understand that, like, I know what I'm doing. And not only that, but I can educate myself on what I'm trying to do if I don't know. So, find out about it. It's just, I feel like self-knowledge is the best kind of knowledge. What keeps you grounded in the midst of chaos? Breathing, meditation, for sure. Especially now that I've been reading this book about Buddhism. I was listening to Jay Shetty's podcast, and he had, I think his name was Scott. I do not remember his last name, but this man wrote a book, and it's called Be Where Your Feet Are. Ever since I heard that podcast episode, I kind of, to recenter myself, I will literally say to myself, like, be where my feet are, be where my feet are, be where my feet are. But that's typically what I do. I also like to feel my hands sometimes, if I remember. But yeah, or feel another person too, because AB helps ground me a lot. So also, I just love having people around me who understand what the fuck I be talking about, man. You would not believe, and I have a video coming out about that as well, because so many of y'all have asked me how I made spiritual friends. But simply having these niggas in my life has been so helpful, because it's like, imagine just like growing up in this matrix. It's a matrix. You looking around like, why the fuck is everybody acting like this shit normal? Like, why do y'all want to go to college? Like, why do y'all want to work a regular job? Like, so just having these people in my life, AB, Ari, Trey, Mari, like, these people are super important to me because they understand like what is going on, and they understand that like this is, it's okay to question this shit. It's okay to really think outside the box. Like, nigga, you not gonna die because we got your ass, So definitely having friends that are like-minded in a sense that allows you to be free from the shackles of whatever the fuck is going on here is helpful. How do I let go of my old fears, which I'm aware of, yet continue to be shackled by? Depending upon what your fear is, you need to face it. So if your fear is having this really difficult conversation with your mom, you need to have it. Accept it for what it is and understand why it's something that you're afraid of. Because I think that would be a very helpful step first, definitely to evaluate, like, where is this coming from? And is it me that's afraid of this? Or is it someone else that's afraid of this? Is it a past life that is afraid of this? And it's showing up in my life because I have some unfinished business I need to do. Everything is connected, and so much could possibly be going on, that can lead you to the answer that you're looking for. So I hope that is helpful. And lastly, confidence to step out onto a path that isn't commonly accepted / understood. Bro, you just gotta go for it. Like, man, none of what I have done, like, luckily, both of my parents were pretty understanding, and they were just pretty open to whatever it was that I wanted to do, even though that my mom did not like the fact that I dropped out of college. Even when we talk about like not billionaires, but like, people who have made it to the top, who started with nothing, like, them people literally had a dream. They had an idea of what they could make or how they could help the world. And they just went ahead and did it. They just, no matter what, they made that shit come true, bro. Manifestation is real. So it's like, to get the confidence to follow your dreams, like, bro, you don't want to do, or okay, I'm not gonna necessarily say dreams, but like, your path could be like, maybe your sexuality, you want to come to terms with that, you want to be more open and proud of who you actually are, or your career choice, just lifestyle choice, anything like that. But it's just like, you don't want to live a lie, like, that's not serving anybody. Like, man, people around you especially your family, they might be like, you know, oh, I'm glad that you haven't chosen that lifestyle, or you chose to go to college even though you didn't want to. But it's like, if them people really loved you and wanted you to be happy, they would see how much it's hurting you that, you know, you're not you know, that you're not in your true element. Because, bro, we know the answer. We know exactly what it is we want to do. We know how we want to do it. I mean, well, maybe we don't know. Some people know, some people don't, and that's okay. But it's too much. It's too much. It's too much life to be had, and to be denying yourself the ability to experience it. Use discernment and put yourself first, Sade. If I had to end this video with one thing, I would say to put yourself first. And so many people be like, isn't that cocky? Isn't that selfish? No, it's not. Because put it on, my camera is about to die. Oh shoot. Okay. Anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed this. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to check out the necklace that I have, the collaboration, and the bracelet that I have with Youthful Metals. That's so funny how I just have to abruptly end this. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe. Same as always, follow me on Instagram if you would like. And you guys will see me in the next video.